Hi everyone, this is Ishika Kesarwani and I welcome you all to the Tech Podcast. Today we're having Francesco. He's a developer advocate at Daily.dev and also the Docker captain. We can first start with your introduction.
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone, I'm Francesco from Rome, 38. As Shika said, developer advocate at Daily.dev, also Docker captain. We can tell what is that later. And I'm also very active on social media, especially Twitter, YouTube. I'm also now recently became a public speaker. I've already spoken at 4 conferences and I've been in 3 conferences just last month. So I'm back from New York a couple of days ago. And yes, let's get started.
Yay. Okay, so cool. So whenever I hear your word or whenever I see your profile, the first thing that comes into my mind is the Docker captain, like literally always. So how and when did you start with it using Docker? And what really got your interest in it?
Yeah, before I forget that, today is exactly 1 year that I became a Docker captain. So it's the anniversary. So perfect time and congratulations on this choice.
Congratulations with your achievement.
Yes. I started learning Docker even before getting my first job in tech. So I think I started learning Docker in 2016 with a Udemy course, YouTube videos. Maybe we need a separate episode, but I've also deployed some containers on Azure. I know that this is an Azure podcast, so this is true that I tried it. It also worked well. So I started learning Docker by myself because I liked the technology. And then I landed a job for the European Space Agency in 2017 without any social media presence. Then in 2020, I started becoming active on social media, especially Twitter. Then the COVID happened. So with the lockdown, I had a lot of time to stay on social media and improve social media presence. Then I started sharing tips about Docker on Twitter. Then at some point, this is a short version, I started making some videos about that. And then they contacted me and I became a Docker captain, which is a volunteer role, but basically you represent Docker as an ambassador. So we had a briefing yesterday, and yes, that's it. And that's been great. I've also organized many events, live events for the DockerCon, many quarterly events. So very happy about this.
That is great. So can you share your journey? How was it like when you became the Docker captain and how it changed your life?
This is a great question. So basically, as I said before, exactly 1 year ago, I became a Docker captain. The day after that, I got an offer as a developer advocate. So I don't think it's a coincidence because I started working with a company. It's another company, it's not Daily.dev. But I started working as a developer advocate for them, creating Docker videos and other kind of stuff. And I think it's related, or maybe it's just a coincidence. And I can say that it changed my life because, to be honest, I tried to become a developer advocate, but without sending CVs. I think companies should find you if they like your style, if they like your voice, your accent, how you talk, how you express yourself. Here you see, I make a lot of gestures being an Italian. So if you like the style of the person, I think that you can contact them to be a developer advocate. So this is the short version of how this basically changed my life. And also being a developer advocate, you can also stay more time on social media, connecting with people, amazing people like you, Ishika. It's great.
Yeah, developer advocate is a really good stream and it's booming right now. So can you share some myths about this stream that people don't know about it or tend to misunderstand?
There are so many myths that this could take 2 hours, so I'll try to be very short. The first one is that developer advocate is not a technical role. Instead, it is. Usually developer advocates are former developers, or they just code less, but sometimes they also code in the company. For example, in the previous company, I coded kind of a lot. In this company, since I'm the only developer advocate and there is a big team, I code less, way less, but it's not a problem for me. But of course, it's a person who at least they know something about the coding. And another myth is that developer advocacy is like marketing. And it's not like that. It's more about creating a connection between the company and the developers. In my case, so for Daily.dev, this is even more important because we have a tool for developers. It's a tool for developers to stay updated. So I think it's the perfect company to stay in as a developer advocate, because you basically the developers are also the users of your product. So it's perfect.
Yes, that is great. And a lot of people I've seen, they, get confused. Whenever I say that I'm a developer advocate of this company, they'll be saying marketing. So yeah, that is something that people have been confusing a lot.
Lawyer, advocate, it seems like.
Yeah,
okay.
I've heard that also. So I've seen that you've been working with a lot of technologies lately. So what, according to you, are the top 3 trends, which are going to be a huge success?
Yes. I haven't mentioned this, but 6 months ago, I also started to learn and share stuff about Web3. So I think that all the Web3 stuff, it's a parallel universe with NFT, DeFi development. So I think this is a trend for sure. And of course, DevOps, it's also a good choice for sure. I'm sure about that. I think that's it for now. And there are always some new JavaScript frameworks, something new, Svelte, I think, or something else. But I think that we have enough. We have been enough for now.
Yes. So I have this one more question. You talked a lot about social presence, right? And I've always heard people saying, whenever you're doing something, when you're working on a project, share it with public, because this is how people are going to get to know more about you. So how exactly did you start using Twitter to be focused on Twitter? How did you start with that, and how did you gain so many followers? And also congratulations on 100K on Twitter. That's a huge number.
Thank you. Okay, so this will take just a couple of hours. No, I'll try to be faster. So in 2020, I started using social media, because before that, I really hated social media. For me, it was just a waste of time. For me, social media, it was just that after a very hard day, you relax on the couch and you just scroll. This was in my mind, the social media. Instead, I started being connected just with developers. I really focused on developers. At some point, I got that was called the tech Twitter. I didn't even know the term, and I think this thing worked, because I started being connected with people with the same interest, and I also changed what I've been doing there. But I really focused, because Twitter is a mess. you can talk about sports, politics, religion, whatever. Instead, I focused on social accounts that are focused on talking about development. And I'm not talking just about tips. It can also be jokes, sharing some funny pictures. I'm also a huge fan of sports, because before stepping in tech, I've been a volleyball coach for about 20 years. So before stepping in tech, I had a previous experience. We need another episode to talk about that. And so it has been a very long journey, 2.5 years now. But I managed to slowly improve myself. It would have been very hard to do what I'm doing now, like 2 years ago, almost impossible. But I started using YouTube, sharing some videos, then doing live streams, then doing webinars, Twitter Spaces. I've also, as I said, become a Twitter. I think exactly 1 month ago, I did my very first talk in person. So this is a perfect timing, this podcast. It's amazing. So it has been really a great experience, and I'm very happy that we are going back to in-person events. I hope one day to meet you in person. Maybe we can make an in-person interview with podcast.
Yes. I've literally seen you growing throughout your whole Twitter journey. So that's very inspiring for me also. And hopefully we'll be able to meet in the Goa event that is going to happen for Web3.
That would be great. Spoiler.
Yeah. So you were talking about social presence, right? So imagine that I'm a student and I don't have time. You don't have much time to, devote it for social creating content. So for that, what would you suggest to the students? How they can start with that? How they can prioritize their time and create content, valuable content?
This is a great question. My only regret, usually I regret nothing, but my only regret is that, as I said, I started my journey in tech in 2015. I started sharing stuff 5 years later. So if I would have started 5 years before, even just sharing just dedicating 5 minutes on Twitter, probably now we would talk about different numbers, different impact. So this is my only regret. Would have started earlier. So what I'll say is that you don't have to stay 4 hours creating content for free for 1 year. Social media can also be a way to share what you do. For example, to connect with other developers, or let's say, I don't know, I'm learning this JavaScript framework. So you engage with people maybe they are doing the same. So I would not stress that like the social media is like an unpaid job. And of course, if you start sharing tips, making tutorials on videos for free, but you can do that, of course people will follow you. That's the bare minimum, since you're doing this for free. But I would start very, very, very easy, and starting, if you can make 1 tweet per day about development, I think it's great for your career. You don't have to invent things. If you have been coding, if you made a PR, you can share the repositories that you are working on. It's more about creating the mindset of the content creator. Like whatever you're doing, you should post something. I know that this takes some time, but in the long run, this can become opportunities, jobs, friends, eating for free at some conference. So that's great.
And also swags. Yeah.
Swag, a lot of swag. I have a bag of swag there.
Yeah. So I myself started my Twitter journey with posting whatever I used to learn, and it was more like, being accountable to everyone publicly. So that is something which personally helped me a lot, not to just learn but also to grow over there. So I used to share my data science journey, like whatever I used to learn, I used to post there that I did this, and this is the resource you can refer to. So that's one thing which has personally helped me a lot to grow.
Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. I think this is perfect, because you don't use like 2 more hours to create a tutorial, because that's basically a job. Creating videos or posting stuff regularly on social media, it's almost a job. So I will start with less effort. You can do, for example, Twitter Spaces that are very easy to do. You can just share stuff like we are doing now, and this is also a great way to grow on social media. And I mean, it's not just about the number of followers. Number of followers means that you did something on social media, basically. That's it. But it doesn't make you famous or very knowledgeable about a topic. It's good to have. If you, for example, if you want to help some friends to get a job, and if you have a social media presence, you can help them. So this is also great.
Yeah, that is great. Okay, so if you have to choose any other field other than tech, what will it be?
Okay, this is a very hard question, because maybe some years ago they said, okay, I would go back to sports and in that. Probably now I'll do something more like pure content creation, non tech, like traveling blogs, or maybe just something not related strictly to tech and development, but still like content creation, video editing. So probably now I will do more like this, something like this. Video editing, document your journey, creating videos, but not just about tech. I don't know, videos about cooking. For example, I'm Italian, I like to cook. So probably I will keep creating content, but not just about JavaScript.
That's a nice answer. Okay, so there must be times that you would have faced some issues. There must be up and downs in your life, getting out of the comfort zone. So what advice will you give to the listeners that you have learned throughout your journey? Any tips from your end?
Yes, I can say this. I can give my 2 cents, because I also experienced this. So for me, starting creating videos, even just showing my face on social media, it was very hard. My first profile picture, I had sunglasses, also because I was very shy, and now I am less shy. I would say, instead of trying to force yourself, now I have to make a video, now I have to do this, it's very hard. It can be very stressful for your mind. Instead, I would say, put yourself in the best condition to do something. So try to communicate with your friends, try to make, a coffee chat with your friends. this is a very slow process, but don't think that you can't do that. It's something that I can assure you that if I can be a public speaker, everybody can be a public speaker. It's just a matter of training and practice. Nothing more, nothing less. There are not like special blessed people who can make videos and the other ones are in the shadows. It's not like that, because it's just about getting used to do something. What I'm doing now, it sounds crazy because I'm talking to a camera, but I know that this message will become probably something useful, but it's just a matter of practice. I remember me trying to record the first videos, and it felt strange, because it is strange. I'm talking to an object instead of looking at you in your eyes, Shiga. But I know the result now, so it's just about getting used, and it doesn't have to. What I think that the mistake is try to do like from zero to hero without doing all the necessary steps. It's like stepping into a gym and trying to lift 200 kilograms. It's impossible because you are not trained enough. You have to go step by step, increasing your weights. And I do many sports analogies because of my past, but that's it. This is how I see social media. I see this as training. And for me, it works because my brain works like that. So training in sports, I also like to love to walk and run. So for me, everything is training. Even you can train your communication skills. You can train being more communicative. It's just that. There are no real secrets or blessing or lights from the from the above that okay, now you can do it.
Yeah, totally relatable. Like I remember when I was recording my first video, it was of only 15 minutes and it took me like 5 hours to get to complete the video. So yeah, thank you for joining, Francesco. With this, we can wrap up today's session. Thank you so much for joining us, sharing your journey with us and the listeners. And again, to all the listeners, thank you for joining, and stay tuned because we're going to have many more videos like this. Have a good day.